Okay, this is a review for the Bohol Blades 17-inch Pinute. Just a little background on this one. I won this one at the Short Blade Symposium a couple months ago, and I've owed a review ever since. I first saw this actually when Morgan was unboxing it, and I immediately thought, wow, that's a really cool looking sword. I want it. I was lucky enough to win it, and so now here's the review. So just right off the bat, this is a traditionally made Pinute, is the term that they're using. They call this one. This one's a relatively small example of it, for lack of a better term. It's very traditionally made. It's not particularly like sort of made to, I don't know, sort of a custom level. This feels very much like, you know, a true bladesmith, you know, in the Philippines made this as a tool to be used around the farm or whatever. So that's kind of the way I'm approaching this. Element-wise, when you look at it, it's got a nice finish to it, though pretty basic. As we go through here, it has these brass accents and bolsters as you go along it. Here, you can see that this is a two-ply wooden sheath. You can see the split in the middle, held together by the brass here, which is pretty traditional. And then in here you can see where the nails have been driven through, then cut off and sanded off to provide some additional support on that. So again, pretty traditionally made. Seems decent. I've had it for a couple months. It hasn't warped in that time, which is a really common thing that happens when you bring, you know, cheese from the Philippines, and you come here. I live in a dry environment, and they often get kind of a propeller twist out of that. And it hasn't happened so far, which is a good thing. I've had a lot of blades come over from sort of modern makers that happens to. I haven't actually bought a modern-made Filipino weapon in years now. I've been focusing on antiques, and so this is kind of a new and different to play with a blade from a new maker, or a relatively new maker to the scene. So again, this is Bohol Blades 17-inch Pinute. Okay, so cool sheath. Let's take a look at the blade, which is what everybody's looking for. Okay, so this is a light blade. Okay, it's about 14 ounces total weight. You can see it. I'm not a very big guy. I have average size hands. The 17-inch on that refers to blade length, so base of here to tip is 17 inches, and you can see the grip. Like I said, I have pretty average size hands, and I'm going to fit on it just fine. One of the things that you'll note about this is it's got a forward cast to it, right? Very much a deep cant to it, and then very much almost like a pistol grip, right? As it holds it forward, which means when I utilize it, it has this deep forward cast as I'm going into that. And typically in Pinute, when we cut, we use a 90-degree principle, but with this blade and the way its distribution sort of comes out to me, it very much wants to cast when I'm doing that. So I'm going to probably utilize it that way. It's very fast, okay? This thing, nice, maneuverable, light, right? I can get tip speed is very quick here, and at 14 ounces, this is a little bit more than some of my sticks, but not by much. Distribution's way better. It has a nice distal taper here coming back to the hand, so the tip is really light and fast. Yeah, so this is a maneuverable, fast little blade. Feels really good in the hand. Let's talk about edge sharpness. This is a factory edge. I haven't done anything to it. I wanted to review it, you know, as I got it. So the old piece of paper test. I don't know if you can see that. That's pretty damn good. I'm impressed. I thought I'd have to refinish it or to re-put an edge on it. I absolutely don't. That is nice and sharp right there. So, cool. So, fast, maneuverable. I can move it. How does it cut? Because that's really what everybody wants to see, right? So I've got my water bottle set over here. Let's move into that. Let's see, is that working? Move it over. I'll center it there. Okay, so this is a cheap Costco water bottle, so really light. It shouldn't take much, right? Didn't take much. No surprise there. Okay, but you saw that tip velocity, right? I didn't have to have this big swinging cut to get through it. It is only a water bottle, right? So as I come through, I got it to right about here. Okay, there's my cut. That's a sharp edge. That's a fast bit to get to tip velocity. Okay, there's no tear on it. There's no rip. That was a clean cut. Go the other way with that. Yep, that'll cut. So I'm going to move up. These are some old iced tea ones. Now these have a lot thicker edge on them. Or a lot thicker plastic around them. See how that does. I'm going to give it a little bit more oomph on this one. Yep, it cuts. No surprise. That's a pretty good clean cut. You can see a little bit of a tear there, but yeah, cool. Horizontal. Hey, so, okay, I'm not surprised that this thing can cut. What I am a little bit concerned about is what it would do with tatami. It is pretty light, okay? So, in comparison, this is my preferred blade for cutting tatami, okay? This is another Pinute, made by Chris Cutlery, now discontinued, unfortunately, because it's a really cool blade. But I mean, you can see the size difference. This thing is about 20 ounces. This thing's 14 ounces. Okay, so you're looking at a significant difference in weight-wise here. And I'm concerned that this light one doesn't have the firepower. But man, looking at some of that, that's pretty impressive. So I'm going to see if I can soak some tatami tonight. I'll come back and try to get a couple cuts in on the morning on this, just to see how this does. But man, I gotta say, this is a nice blade right out of the box. Bohol blade, 17-inch Pinute. Nice job, guys. Okay, so I've soaked some tatami. I take this out for a test run, see how it goes, and we'll find out. So, again, this is a lighter weight blade, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a full swing. Again, I think it's going to need a lot of little extra oomph to get this one through. Just guessing, so we'll find out. Ha! Totally wrong. Nice clean cut, went right through it. Piece of cake on the cut. No resistance, no problem. Okay, shorten that one actually. That was my fault, not the blade's fault. So, I'm just practicing, instead of doing a big, giant swing every single time, I'm seeing what sort of the minimum level of the cut I can get away with. Again, thinking this is a light blade. Not a problem. Okay, this is easy. Piece of cake, no problem. Cut's great. Now we're going to do something, swap out the tatami, try to see, play around, do some fancier cuts. Wasn't really tightly wound, so that's my fault. I'm gonna do, let's see, that's a rising cut. We'll go down, up, up. Ooh, bad. Yeah, not well seated. More of the roll's fault than my fault. Haha, that was cool. Yeah, tough. Rising cut on a not well anchored tatami is a problem. I really should have rolled these tighter, but again, my fault, not the blade's fault. Let's try down, up. Oh, I missed it. Anyway, cuts like a dream. Great cutter there, man. I was not expecting that. I thought this was going to be light for cutting. Sometimes tatami mat do better with like a wider, flatter blade. Man, this thing cuts fast. So, great job. Nice blade.